Hi, my name is Musa Maluleka, currently trainee accountant in Deloitte London office, and I'm the founder of Diskjtie. So I just want you to imagine what it feels like to be that kid, not knowing where the meal is going to come from, having no hope for your future, having no escape from poverty, feeling like you're stuck in a poverty trap. So I started playing soccer at the age of 11 in a township called Atteridgeville. And that moment was when my brother bought me my first pair of soccer boots. You see, people talk about winning the lotto, but that moment right there was my lotto. So I took the box and opened it up, but they were the wrong size. See, I was a size 5 back then, but my brother bought me a size 7. So those soccer boots that he bought me didn't fit me. So what I would used to do is that I would stuff tissues in the front of the soccer boots, and believe it or not, I played the game. But fortunately, it didn't last too long. After 2 months, my mother bought me my first pair of soccer boots. The soccer boots that my mom bought me only lasted me 2 months. Because you know why? Soccer boots are not made for people who play on gravel. They're made for people who play on grass. In the townships and rural areas, you don't have grass, you only have gravel. So those soccer boots my mom bought me only lasted me for 2 months. From there, I developed this curiosity of why are there no soccer boots that are specifically made to play on gravel, whilst there are millions of us playing on gravel soccer pitches in townships, rural areas, and all over Africa. So I made it my quest to actually solve this problem. In 2019, I was admitted into a scholarship called Ngreobis Foundation, which cultivated this passion for entrepreneurship and solving problems. And that was when I started Diskjtie, making soccer boots that are specifically made to play on gravel soccer pitches. And I was excited that I took all my allowances that I'd saved from grade 1 till grade 12 and through my university years, the first 2 years, and I made the first batch of soccer boots. Guess what? I was so excited, thinking I'm going to take over the world. But guess what? I didn't even sell one pair. And that was the moment where I realized that people don't actually buy products, they buy brands. Brands that have stories behind it. And for me, I started researching on how can I build a story and a brand around this problem that we want to solve for Africa. Then I realized in the sports industry, brands win with professional soccer players by having professional soccer players wearing and playing with their brand. But then for me, I didn't have a big budget like your bigger brands to give to professional soccer players to endorse my brand. So I had to think of a strategic way on how to solve this problem. So I started researching all the contracts they have with the bigger brands, and I found out one thing. The contracts didn't include shin pads. So I started making personalized shin pads for professional soccer players. And currently I have players in the bigger teams in Orlando Pirates, Mamelodi Sundowns, and playing and wearing with my shin pads. And that over time started making the brand and growing the brand and making people actually fall in love with the brand, because it enabled us to tell a story that inspires the kids by having professional players wearing and playing with the brand. So fast forward, after having professional soccer players, we were able to tell the story better by inspiring young kids from the townships by seeing the bigger players wearing and playing with the brand, with the shin pads. And that was when I was able to raise funding to launch a new design that was more strong and quite durable to play on gravel soccer pitches last year, June 2021. And fast forward now, a year later, we've been able to sell about 40%, over 300 pairs that we've sold to kids in the townships all over South Africa. But then you know what excites me the most about this brand and telling this story? Is that if you go to all townships and rural areas, there's something we call Diskjtie, Kasiflava. It's a way of culture of how we play soccer in the townships in South Africa. So there are players who are prominently known for playing and embracing this culture of Diskjtie, hitting the skills on the ball and showboating with it. But then some of them didn't have professional contracts or hope. So we identified 4 of those players to actually play and endorse the brand. That was one of the most exciting moments when I switched on to SuperSport 4 and saw one of the players hitting this Zekete dance with the soccer boots. That was quite exciting. But then one thing that excited me the most is that we provided the players with soccer boots and enabled them to play and work on their craft. And within 3 months, 2 of them were able to secure a professional contract. Then we started identifying players who exhibit the skills, this Kasiflava, and we started endorsing them by wearing the brand. Now, players who wear Diskjtie soccer boots are prominently known for Kasiflava. It's kind of like if you don't have Kasiflava, you don't wear Diskjtie soccer boots. If you have Diskjtie soccer boots, you have Kasiflava. And you know what it's exciting about that is that for a kid in a township, once you secure that professional contract, for some, it's that key to unlock the poverty trap, and it's a way of getting your family out of poverty. But then, you know, I think the biggest transition we face as entrepreneurs who are founder entrepreneurs is actually when you need to start moving outside of the operations of the business with something that you're so passionate about. And that's where actually you start need to developing new skills in terms of being able to collaborate, being able to manage the business instead of working operational on it. And it requires you to develop different skills in terms of knowing how to communicate with people, knowing how to understand people, knowing how to lead people and talk to people. And also, most importantly, knowing how to understand and love people in order to be able to develop them so that we can develop the business together. So I think the greatest lesson that I've learned is that great businesses are not built by individuals, but by a group of people who are working together towards achieving the same goal. I think, for instance, one story I can think of is that I'm not the greatest person in terms of marketing, but then being able to collaborate with someone like Lady Pogba, who was quite prominent in terms of social media, has helped the brand quite a lot in terms of social media growth and helped us in terms of making the story reach more and more people. So one thing playing soccer taught me in the township is that hard work, dedication, persistence yields results. And one thing I see with most young kids in the township is that they don't have hope because they don't see a blueprint that hard work can actually yield results. It feels as if they're stuck in poverty. But then once they're on the field, because of they've trained through the week, if they've trained enough, they solve problems by actually going past the opponents, they can actually win. And it gives them that beacon of hope that their hard work can actually yield results. So my biggest passion in terms of building this brand is that to cultivate and instill hope in the lives of young kids in the townships. So soccer actually cultivates this mindset of solving problems. And I feel as though if we can keep kids more on soccer pitches, making them play soccer more and more, they'll cultivate this mindset of solving problems. So for me personally, going to the future, I want to see this brand actually spreading throughout the whole of Africa. Because throughout the whole of Africa, we have gravel soccer pitches. So if we can have this brand spread throughout the whole of Africa, have more and more of these kids playing soccer on gravel soccer pitches, have this mindset and this actual dedication of solving problems, I feel we'll have more and more responsible citizens who will solve the biggest challenges and problems that we have in Africa and South Africa, because we all know that we need it. It's up to us to actually solve the problems, whether it's by starting a business or whether it's by starting social programs, or whether it's by actually helping entrepreneurs to build more sustainable business. My mantra is that for us, let's rise up, let's solve the problems our continent faces, and let's actually build the human race, take the human race forward in terms of building a better Africa for the generations that are upcoming.